Well, hey, everybody.
Hello, this is not our music, but we love listening to it.
Okay, studio audience, while y'all are out there, put your phones on mute. If you have your phone in your hand, Fuller, your phone on mute.
I can't put on music. I'm playing.
No, you can still play. You still play your music, but your phone won't ring.
I do want the music.
Look, studio audience, because we want y'all to listen tonight. That'd be us when the phone be ringing in the middle of our broadcast. What's going on? This is how we do it. This is our theme song. Not our music, though. My hair looked like that picture, didn't it, baby?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love some chat GPT, y'all. Just don't know what's going on. We see y'all out there. Yvonne Holmes, baby, we need to do fan favorites. Fan like
Right.
recognition for our fans.
Right.
And we're gonna give top 5 people. Yvonne Holmes will be one of the ones.
Definitely number one.
Number
one.
Yes. So look, you guys can see this show is designed for real people who want answers to marriage, being single, losing a spouse, children, and dating. And join us for the conversation every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So you guys, we have had a
live and really in color.
I was just telling Flo, I said, can you believe, and we say this, every 4th Monday, can you believe it's a new month? Right. And it is now March the 30th. We're going into the end of the month, into the beginning of a new month. And do we expect showers in the month of April? Is that the way it's supposed to be?
April showers.
You think that flowers. Really? Mayflowers. It's been,
I heard that for so many years.
Mayflowers brings April showers, bring Mayflowers. Okay. And so, hey, what's going on, Verdale? Good to see you guys out there. And so, I'm going to take that my little runner here, so that you don't see the banner keep scrolling. They call that a crawl for those that are technical and cared enough for me to make that comment. Probably didn't even care. So, baby, how was your weekend?
Partly sunny.
What's that mean?
It wasn't partly cloudy, partly sunny.
That was how your weekend was?
Yeah. It was good. On Friday, I went to see my brother who and wife going through a healing. And so I went and spent time with them. We just had a good time fellowshipping and talking, watching the game, watching the girls' game. And that's what I do. The big thing is I like the girls' game, but I really love South Carolina.
Yeah,
so I've really been watching it. And what I like about South Carolina, I like the way they go about their business, but also like Don Staley, because what she does for the HBCUs and brought a lot of recognition and brings a lot of recognition to them, and she gives a lot to them. So I'm just really proud of someone being in a position to actually doing something to help the smaller colleges. Yes. And that means a lot to them.
Yeah.
Sarah.
So I didn't tell you what I did Friday.
Okay.
I went to a sorority. You know, I really this year have made it a point to get more involved because we do a lot of service projects, and even though Darlene on the chopping block probably from my sorority committee that I'm on, because it'd be so much going on. I'm just trying to stay above the water. I told my friend Renelda, who was on here, hey, everybody, this is our top 5 to 10 folks that join us every week, and then some follow that. So I was telling her that, between, if you want me, it ain't through group chat. It's not through Gmail. It's not through my work email. You got to text me. Because if I'm in an email on something, chances are going back to Gmail, unless it's in my work email, I'm not going to ever see it.
I don't see how people there's so many emails come. I don't see how people keep up.
Yeah, and so and WhatsApp,
work, and then personal, and mine is a lot.
Yeah, and then now Renelda adds in, and just this is for this season, WhatsApp. Because we got people across the North America, Canada, so you try to do the WhatsApp. So any way people can communicate. We were watching just now on TV. We heard in the background was talking about how so many schools are having a challenge, which is keeping the kids focused because of all the different social media outlets and platforms.
Had to bring in counselors,
and text messages,
everything, right?
And so anyway, so I made it a point to say that Friday I spent some time with my sorority, getting to know the business of why we do what we do, understanding, sisterhood, and just sometimes I think our sororities and fraternities and stuff get a bad rap, but that depends on how you view your sisterhood and what you do in your organization. And that can be true for anything. So, but we do a really great job with service projects and getting involved in the community. So that was me Friday. That you did Friday. You said you went to go see Trey and Jennifer. Okay. What about Saturday?
I did something my mom always used to say,
piddling around. That's right. Okay.
So my mom. And so Saturday I had a child with vertigo, which carried over to Sunday. And,
so somebody may be saying, wait a minute, darling, why are you up there asking Bishop Fuller or Fuller, what do you do this weekend as if y'all weren't together? We weren't.
No, you was in and out, in and out.
Yep, I knew that this weekend was going to be a busy one.
And I took care of Mama.
Make sure Mama was straight.
Yeah.
But on Saturday, I did something very eventful. I thought I was going to a vendor fair, which I did, and our former principal of mine, one of the schools, she invited me to be a vendor at one of her. She called it cleansing, 99 and 1. Meaning carrying, bringing somebody into the fold of, being saved, and young women, and giving them a chance to, learn from other women and not leaving anybody behind, basically. So
you were very excited when you came home.
Yeah, I was,
so
because
really was.
I in most vendor places I've been before, they just want you to set up in the foyer in another room over there. But this was at the Riverdale Town Center, and she included the vendors in the room, so if they had a chance to participate, she fed us. We had to pay a vendor fee, but even with that, most of the time those shows or events or ministry things, they don't always feed the vendors, right? You get it while you can get it. But I brought me a lunch just in case. But they did feed us. But it was very impactful because this is a person that goes to my church. I didn't know she went to my church, and she's probably told me before. And but she just ministered on she created a ministry. Didn't even know that, she probably sits in the way back of the church. Nobody even knows who she is, probably at our church, but she knows who she is.
Right.
And she created a ministry for people, just said women, but anyone, where, there was an opportunity for cleansing. And then we got a chance, I ran into some fellow world changers there. Andre Creighton came in, as a guest speaker. Didn't know she was going to be on the platform to speak, and then ran into a couple of our youth department ministry leaders were there as well. So it was good, and the people that came there, it was quite refreshing. That's what it was supposed to be. So I did that on Saturday, and I was supposed to go to a one of those paint. They call it sip and paint, but ours wasn't called sip and paint. It was called something paint with your sisters. I paid for it to go, and ended up not even going because the vendor thing went long, and I was tired.
Right.
Then I had to sing on Sunday. Yeah, and so
that's right.
So we've had a very packed week, and so Fuller said something to me today.
You got the shirt on.
Oh, don't play. Y'all see this without me showing y'all my undergarments because I'm raising it too high. New edition, you guys. Look, so I'm driving home from church yesterday. My girlfriend, Twanza, writes me, and she says, Darlene, what you doing later on today? And I'm thinking, please don't say tonight because it's Sunday. And so she said, I got tickets to go see the New Edition concert. Do you want to go? And she said, here's the price. And I said, give me 10 minutes to think about it. I got to get home. I just got home from church. I said, give me 10 minutes to think about it. I got home and I said, now if Fuller pays for me to go, I don't mind going. But Paige's birthday is this week, so I'm going to not spend like I did because Paige, we just literally spent $3,500. Paige is going to study abroad this summer with her university, and they're going to Italy. I'm super excited for her.
Yeah.
And we can appreciate the opportunities that come up like that because we didn't have those opportunities when we were younger. So I want her to experience that, but I wasn't expecting $3,500, right? And so, but she asked me about going to the concert, and I was like, you start debating everybody just about whether you should do something. And then something said, Darlene, do something for yourself. Stop always going home to feel like you got to sit and watch TV. You got to do stuff. Ladies, I'm talking to the ladies that on here, ladies or men, got to go home and check on your spouse or cook or clean up or, get the house ready for tomorrow. Go and, clean out the closets, mop the floors, whatever. The guys are thinking I got to work in the yard or I got to go wash my car. I just said, nope, I'm going to go and I'm going to say yes. And so
I encourage you to go.
Yeah. So when I got home, I said, Fuller, Twanza has asked me to go to see the New Edition. Now, I always tell you guys this, Fuller's so different. He could have said, how much? No, what he said was, she invited who? I said, he said, not we. I said, no, me. He said, oh, okay. I was just making sure. I said, I know you weren't going to think about going because he had already stayed home from church because he had some vertigo and couldn't kind of get his bearings. And so I was like, I think I want to go. And he said, okay, let me Zelle her the money right now. Tell her, ask her how she wanted Zelle through Cash App or Cash App. So we Zelled her and I said, Twins, I'll see you later on. So we went, baby. Yeah. Them doggone New Edition, but they had it. I can't spoil it for anybody on here. I know it's our audience is pretty wide age range. Mm-hmm. Probably maybe not everybody's gonna go see the concert, but I'm telling y'all, this concert, I've seen a lot of concerts, but they did it right. They had a mixture of New Edition and Boyz II Men and Toni Braxton, and that's my generation. That's the '80s time frame when the boy groups, not men groups, the boy groups, because back then they were the boy groups, right? The men groups were in the 70s, 60s, right? And this was like the boy groups and the girl groups. And when I tell you them things laid it down professionally, they all had on suits. They went over.
That was some good marketing because all y'all Tina Boppers and y'all had some teen crushes and also.
You're right.
Right. So that's good marketing.
We thought Johnny Gill and Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown was a troll, but no, okay. So we weren't thinking, I wasn't thinking about Brown, but they were still all in that element where we was trying to dance like, do it now, all that stuff. Y'all, when I tell y'all, they dressed professionally. They had the microphones glittering. They had the brims on. They had the dance moves. They had the videos going at the same time as the current last night video or stage presence. Alongside when they did the videos back in the day, man, I was sending full of videos. I know y'all saw me posting like at least one of the videos, but I couldn't spoil it for y'all that plan on going. The one in Atlanta is finished and they're going on to the next cities, which is New Orleans and Houston, which is hence what my shirt said in the back. Then I don't buy no artist shirts most of the time. I leave that for Austin and Paige, but I was like, give me a shirt, y'all, too. And so, but it was really, I am so glad that I didn't miss seeing.
I'm glad for you.
Seeing our groups that really love what they do, just entertain. And I think that more groups, we're going to see them in partnering better. So you got Nick Scagloni said, going back to our chat, that we just got back from Italy. Yeah. You will love it. Yeah. Yep. And so, in fact, Paul, I think I asked you, we need to find out, got to ask this question if we can go too. I at least want to go maybe for a week. Or a few days, just to make sure, ain't nothing like sending your baby off to another country.
You from going.
They can't. So I guess we can go and get our own place to go. So hence, baby, it is now 6:13. So Paul and I were talking today, and we were going to have a guest today, and then we realized that people are still recovering from the weekend, and so we just said we're gonna talk today. And go ahead.
I was going to say that, it's a lot of people that are facing a lot of challenges and a lot of problems. Some health with their families, some tragic, some kid being locked up. And there's just so much going on in the political arena, high prices, mortgages up. And I just want to tell people, don't get dismayed, don't get discouraged. But as I look around the body of Christ, and I asked you this evening, and this what we wasn't going to talk about this anyway, but I'm just bringing it up. I see a lot of people at church. I've been going to church all my life. I see a lot of people at church, but how many people that it really, I want to say have joy, but I'm gonna grade it down. But how many are just happy, not even joy? Yeah. And that kind of concerns me because and you said something interesting, that a lot of people are just stuck, and that's because they're not in line with
The call or the
the
purpose.
call or the purpose of God. And I just want to share with me, once I had a decision to make in ministry,
Mm-hmm.
and I was really, really, unsettled in my spirit, and I just couldn't get it right. So I thought God was telling me to move, and then I moved to my ministry from Griffin, Georgia, to Union City, which is most people in this area know, which is about 15 minutes from World Changers. And anyway, I was still at this being spiritual uncomfortable, and so I made that move, and then it still was something missing.
Mm-hmm.
And so God was trying to move me spiritually and not physically. And I took it as a physical move. And I was like the guy that fell off the edge of the cliff and grabbed onto a bush and said, "Hey, is anybody up there? If God is you up there, help me. Mm-hmm. And he said, "Let go." And then I said, Lord, if you're up there, help me. He said, "Let go." And a lot of time we're just comfortable. And then I wanted to know, "Hey, is anybody else up there? I just want some help and some relief." And a lot of you might be stuck and not necessarily and have an uncertainty, but your joy and your peace is in that space where God wants you. And you said the alignment. A lot of times we're just not in alignment with what God wants to do. And also, you probably need to forgive. A lot of us walking around with the bondage of not forgiving. And you say you're forgiving a person, but you really need to go ahead and move on and forgive them. Because like Dr. Dollar said, looking for the person having unforgiveness is like drinking poison and looking for the other person to die. So that's my spiel for tonight.
Yeah.
Just want to talk about that because I'm concerned because I don't see as many people having the joy of the Lord, and they're going through the motion. And I just want to say, maybe my observation is not accurate. So maybe somebody wants to chime in and say something about it.
Yeah, I would like to. So that's what we started out as our topic for tonight with are you really happy? Right. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if this is going to work or not. Fuller doesn't even know I'm going to do this. This platform that we use is really pretty interesting because it does a lot of things that we don't even know that it does. They keep rolling out different things. So I'm going to post a poll on the screen for you guys, and I want to see if you can see it. And it says, "Are you really happy with your life?" Can you see that, babe?
Yeah, I see it.
And it says yes, no, sometimes. So,
and be honest.
Yeah. So yes, I think for me, I would love to say yes, but I don't want to. I'm happy with my life, but sometimes I'm not because I think that I put pressure on myself to be in a different place than I probably I put too much pressure on trying to do everything.
Right.
And then it makes me unhappy because then I find myself frustrated at not getting it all done. Like before we got here today, I told Fuller and I had an hour to spare. This is minor, you guys. But I said, I'm going to go and steam clean the rug in the kitchen. He said, "Darlene, why are you doing that? Is that necessary right this very moment?" But like that, it's so many small things. I think, especially as women, between the children, between feeling like they're underappreciated, doing too much, having so many places to go, trying to pay the bills, or the husband is paying the bills, or whoever. So I don't know if y'all can see this poll. I don't know if you can put a 1 or 2 or 3 in the chat where you are, and let's just see what comes up. So if you can put your comments, and I don't know if StreamYard picks it up or not, but we find that really interesting. And so then we're gonna go into they
might write a comment as well.
Yeah, this is working. It's working. Look at there. So yeah, so I know that even though I see 100%, I'm not sure that we truly have that many people that are 100% happy in their life, and that's okay. If you are, then
right.
Thank goodness we got saved folks that happen to watch and feel that way about that. But I'm loving this poll because now I know that it works. we can do some other polling, and it doesn't have to be questions like that. But I want to be the person that says sometimes, because I know that life gets the best of us all. It could be how you look. It could be, you start comparing yourself to other people financially. Full and I are doing some financial modifications in our life.
I do a lot of counseling, so I'm experiencing that, from other people.
Yeah. And so, but anyway, so I'm going to hide. I'm going to stop the poll because I'm glad that you guys, 100% of you have said that you are completely happy. So I'm going to hide it from ours. But we saw on our side. I don't know what you guys saw, but 100% said you are. So here's where Full and I then transition, as we were just talking about tonight. We were talking about married couples being happy, and are you really happy? But then there's this one concept that came across when we were putting together a list of things we were going to talk about, and it was about. Let me go back to our chat here. It was good, you guys. I mean, y'all right on it. All of the above. Radonna says all of the above. Yes, no, and sometimes. I agree. I think that's fair.
To be honest, right.
And so, but Full and I, along the way of us looking at all these different topics, one of the things that popped up, it says, not only are you happy, but do you laugh with your spouse? Fuller laughs all the time. Darlene doesn't always laugh. So Fuller, sometimes he has to, kind of see me where I am. Yeah, I'm just being honest. Is that okay? I'll be honest, because sometimes he has to see me where I am. Some of you guys, like, I'll have somebody say in the congregation, Darlene, I saw you on camera and you had a certain face. It's really not a face. Sometimes I just be thinking too hard.
Right.
But Fuller, this and the siblings that follow on the front row, the 1, 2, 3, 4, they always laugh. And if y'all ever hear in the background at church somebody laughing, it's Fuller and family. And so, but so Sandra Taylor says, I think that's fair. Sandra says, no, I'm not happy with the marriage. But that's why we join in here. And with the first part is admitting it, right?
Right.
And so we talk about it. But then we said, look at the number of people that, I even see true happen to me, that we talk nicer to other people than we talk to our spouse. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah. When I pastored, I used to see guys that open the door for the ladies and don't do it for their wife.
How is that?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong person.
Is it phony? Is it being phony? Is it being trying to pretend?
It is
being seen so that people think that you're hypocritical.
Yeah, because if you're not doing it at home, it's like being one way at church and being another way at home.
Man, you know what? I can only imagine.
Bipolar, spiritually bipolar.
I can only imagine, you guys, some of the people that are in our churches who serve like crazy, and they go home and the spouse is mad at the pastor, because they think this is what people say.
Right.
You go up to that church and they got you jumping and doing all kinds of stuff, but when you come home, you don't do none of that. Right. They ought to see you here at the house because you don't do none of that. So then they be mad at the pastor, because they like, oh, you doing all that for so and so.
I remember a wife telling me that their husband was mean. So when he was at church, he's a different person, and he's so nice and smile and everything, and so at home he's mean.
Look at y'all.
So I've heard that definitely before.
Yeah. So I'm gonna share yours with you. Okay. Let me see what Valerie Adams says. Great marvelous Monday, everyone. Good afternoon to you too. And then Nick says, yes, phony, and his pastor should call him out. Yeah. Okay. So
thank you, Nick.
Yes. And then look, Von Holmes says, my hubby keeps me laughing. That's one of the reasons why I married him, because I have tendency of being too serious. Yeah. Me too. I know that I'm serious. But look, that whole thing with, and it don't have to be a church, it could be at work too.
I can tell Darlene, she can't save the whole world. Mm-hmm. She can't participate in everything. And I think that's her dilemma. She tried to support everybody. She tried to be so supportive to everybody who needs something, who wants something. So she's got this Superman, Superwoman ass on her chest, and she does more than she have to, because a lot of time she just needs to rest. And Saturday she did rest. Finally, my brother.
Well, Sunday after church.
Sunday after church. It was Sunday.
Yeah, I took a nap. I don't ever take a nap. And I think I was just overwhelmed. But look, Fat says, that is Lelia Johnson. This is Flo's baby sister. And she says, to the question, the poll.
Uh-huh.
Yes, she's happy. No, she's not happy. And sometimes all of it in one. Sometimes, most of the time, she's happy.
Right.
And so we have to be real. Hey, Candace, what's going on? Good people to you too. And hello, Latoya Chrysler. Yeah. And then Eric and our spouse. Some of our spouses keep us laughing. Sometimes some other people's spouses don't keep them laughing, right? And so before is always complimentary. He's always saying funny stuff. He's always looking for ways. He got jokes. I'd be like, maybe that wasn't really funny, but that's my perspective, right? And that's because Darlene sometimes is too serious. Yeah. Right? Because
she don't hear you because she's thinking about that other thing she got to do.
Right. The next thing.
Right. The next thing.
Yeah. But that whole talking nice to your spouse. I remember, not even being married, but I was dating someone, and I was like, this person is full of laugh, because every time we laugh about this or I bring up something like this, he'll always say, I was thinking about so and so. I know what you're talking about. And I was like, I was thinking about the same person too. Sometimes until you come out of a relationship, you don't see the forest from the trees, because you was all caught up and I was mentally something mesmerized or tranquilized or whatever you call those words, manipulated and all that. Battered. Call me a battered girlfriend. But look, so Fuller, we were just talking about how, like this person that I dated, it was so weird that he was such a Christian men, women. We come to church and we're so nice and we're holding hands. And then as soon as you get out the door, you stop holding hands and you stop doing the performance stuff. And it's like, why go through the fakeness? Just be real. But more so how we talk to what did you say to me one time, babe? You said, if I get out of alignment, how I treat you is a direct reflection, which is full of love, Fuller. Right. If Fuller treat Fuller wrong, then Fuller's going to damage Fuller. Well, why would I Fuller damage Fuller?
Because Fuller loves Fuller. And Fuller's not going to hurt Fuller because Fuller loves Fuller.
Right.
Fuller loves Fuller.
Right. So when we're how we talk to one another. I can't believe we used to, not you and I, but when you were dating someone, you got your best foot forward.
Right, always.
You opened up the doors.
Always.
I got a list of all the stuff that Fuller did. You got your, you got your game on. You smiling, and then all of a sudden, like me dating this person, all of a sudden it was like a 360. I was like, and then I was manipulated and didn't even know I was being manipulated. But it's because that phony stuff that we sort of have I don't know. We just don't.
Sometimes people settle and because they're more comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah. But babe, I thank you for opening up doors and, being real. When I tell you, we don't do this broadcast because we are phony and because we want to pretend to be. Otherwise, we'd have stopped this a long time ago. Because I'd be like, I don't have time because you're not even the real McCoy.
Right.
And no. And so, but Fuller truly is the person that opens up the door. And even like we going to the concert last night, he could have said, "You just got home from church. You just got through singing. Ain't no food cooked. What we gonna do for dinner? Your mama's still here. Who gonna take your mama back?" I was planning on resting today. I was planning on going somewhere. Not one time. He was like, okay. He said, where you going to Zella at? Fuller, thank you. I keep saying thank you, Lord God, for the growth. And just thank you. So let me bring up a comment from Reese Peace. Reese, how you get Reese Peace? Hi. Okay. I met my so he says, I met my wife in church after 16 years, started cheating, later tried to have me assassinated. Okay, thank God grace for saving me. Now she in trouble with the law. I had counseling and I had to forgive. It was hard to forgive her, but my heart is healed.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Amen.
Good
because look, we don't even know sometimes unless you know, and y'all keep having conversations. You're doing the little things, all the stuff for the last 5 years. Fuller and I not preached about, talked about in our relationship that you're doing. What are some of the things we do? The little things. Caring for one another, considering the other person before you consider yourself. Love and kindness is always in season.
Right.
You find yourself marrying, and then you no longer. While we used to laugh a lot, now we don't laugh a lot anymore, or giggle or touch each other. So you revert to one of the comments we saw earlier was that we find ourselves looking at our phones all the time and not talking anymore. I said something to Fuller about that, right? And then he came right back and said, "But you too, darling," right? And I have to own it. And that's the part sometimes we don't do. We don't own our own truth. And so, but yeah, we just got to talk about it.
But learn to be honest with yourselves and your feelings and be honest with each other. And just so do good seeds. Don't try to, why hurt each other? You know you're going to stay there. You're going to be there. Make the best of it. And life is too short. April the 3rd, when Jean went home to be with the Lord, 5 years ago. 6 years, 6 years now, maybe 6. And so maybe that's why I was staring today in space and you were saying, what's wrong with you? Well,
wow, Paige's birthday, because Paige's birthday is Thursday.
Right.
Then I forgot, Jean is following Paige's birthday because we went over to Full's house right after Paige's birthday, not knowing any of this, right, about Paige and Jean, the anniversary. Harlan's birthday is also on April the 3rd.
Okay.
But, so, and then we want to finally or conclude tonight's broadcast by reminding us all to love one another,
right? To
check on your people, to love your spouse, even be unlovable, because we did say for better, for worse. Unfortunately, sometimes it is half and half. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you got to figure out how to do life differently. But what we're seeing is that this has been an interesting year already. And we're in the first 3 months of the year. I was talking to Teresa at the church, and she said already in the first 3 months of the year, they buried 50 people.
Wow.
At our church.
This is at our church.
At our church.
This is our church.
Yeah. And
don't take life for granted. And if you want different, you be the difference. Yeah. You be the difference. You want change, you change. Yeah. If you want different, I know you think you've done all that you can do, but the Bible says you will reap if you faint not. Yeah. So just continue to do good seeds to your spouse. No matter how they treat you, do good to them. You're not accountable for what they do. You're accountable for what you do and how you respond. Yeah. And that sunshine over there is the reason why. I don't know if y'all can see this. It's in yellow. It's in yellow because of all the pollen outside. Right.
And so, but really, you guys, as Yvonne Holmes said, do a wellness check on your family members. Had a principal I called today to chat with, and turns out her husband passed away over the weekend. Didn't know that. A young woman, unexpected. Right. And so, check on your family, love your spouse. Figure out a way to do good seeds this weekend. Good afternoon from Chickasaw County, Mississippi. Yeah. Yes. And look, you guys, we got Paige has her 20th birthday coming up on Thursday this week. Our baby is turning 20. That's right. The long gone are the 20s. Long gone are the teens. And we're now into the 20s. My goodness, y'all pray for us.
Don't have no teens anymore.
No teens anymore. And so you guys love your spouse. Talk good to your spouse. Talk good to yourself. Yeah. And you guys have an amazing rest of your week. We honor and lift up Fuller as we move into this week of celebrating Jean's life. Friday, just so you guys know, as we always do, Friday is Jeans Day. So what are your favorite jeans? And
we're having activity at the church all day Friday as well.
Okay. It's Good
Friday. And happy Easter.
Yep. And look, here's an announcement. My 55th birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, Darren Hikes.
Double 5.
Come on, double nickels.
All right, bro.
Yes, well, look,
all right.
Y'all have a great rest of your night. And just remember, return the opposite. You talk to nicer to strangers than you do your spouse. Talk good to your spouse. They'll appreciate you. They'll love you. They'll see the change. And we hope to see the change in you as well. So give your spouse a hug and a kiss if you're near them. We love you guys. Y'all take care. Until next week. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Do it. See y'all later. This is how we do it.